The truth about time is that every single day, it feels like it's getting shorter. Every time we lose someone or we reflect on a moment we missed, we hear or say things like, life is too short. And what we're really saying is time is too short. I started feeling the anger growing in me and the frustration just hit me. I was mad at him, I was mad at myself and at the situation, but I couldn't react because I was on this call. So I quickly went off camera, I took a deep breath, and I emailed his teacher to say, we're done for today. School is not happening. And at that time, I really didn't care what the teacher had to say. Being able to time block, focusing on one thing all day actually helps you to have higher productivity. I'm your host, TaSheena Braxton, and I am on a mission to disrupt the industry standard that fancy titles make leaders and teaching my clients how to become leaders and get their own seats at the table. Every week, I will explore a topic that impacts women of color. I will unpack the topic and provide learning so that you can feel equipped to step into leadership. I went from laid off to an entry-level job to a mid-level multiple six figures role where I wasn't the highest on the org chart, but I was able to sit in rooms with CEOs, CFOs, and CMOs without a fancy title. As a mom of 4, a wife, and the eldest daughter of 6, I know what it means to lead in every aspect of your life and to be able to translate that into the workplace. Welcome to the Leadership Beyond the Title podcast. So glad to have you here. Now let's get into it. Hello. Today's podcast episode, I am going to be talking about time management. And I'm talking about this because it's that time of the year where we are in full swing with the holidays. And while we're supposed to be bringing joy and family connection, it can also be a lot of stress. We have work deadlines, holiday planning, and everyone seems to need you for something. You are literally stretched thin right now. I know because I feel that way and I'm talking to my clients and they feel that way. But at the same time, you're still trying to make everything happen, but still feeling like you're falling short somewhere. The truth about time is that every single day, it feels like it's getting shorter. Every time we lose someone or we reflect on a moment we missed, we hear or say things like, life is too short. And what we're really saying is time is too short. Even though we know time is precious, we still waste it. We stay distracted, we overcommit to things, and we say yes to things we don't even want to do. We're constantly overwhelmed by work, by family, and all the things we're supposed to do. And at the end of the day, we're just left feeling burnt out and frustrated, like there's never enough time for the things that actually matter. So today, I want to talk about time management, but not in the traditional, just be more productive way. To me, time management is really about life management. It's about deciding who you want to be and then shaping your time to align with that vision. And what I talk about today is going to take self-control, self-mastery, and self-discipline. And if you can do that, you will feel the peace and the ease instead of the chaos and stress from trying to manage your time. So before I share the tips, let me tell you about this specific moment when I realized I had completely lost control over my time. So this was back when my now 10-year-old was 5 years old in 2020, and it was the height of the pandemic. And, we were all thrown into shelter in place, and the kids were thrown into digital learning. I would lie to you if I didn't say it was complete chaos. I was on back-to-back work calls. I was trying to keep everything together. And mind you, I have 3 other children that were all in school at the time as well. And my youngest at that moment was on my personal laptop doing his online school thing. So I was in the middle of a call. The camera was on. I was trying to stay professional when I heard him say, "Uh-oh." So I quickly turned around like any mom would do. And when I looked like, what is he saying uh-oh for? I looked at my laptop and the screen was cracked. I mean, just completely cracked. And at this time, we didn't have a bunch of laptops and computers. I had a desktop. I had just bought a Apple desktop computer. I had my work laptop and I had a personal laptop. Again, I have 4 children. So, and then I have my iPad, of course. So, every laptop, every device counted at that time. So I started feeling the anger growing in me and the frustration just hit me. I was mad at him. I was mad at myself and at the situation, but I couldn't react because I was on this call. So I quickly went off camera. I took a deep breath and I emailed his teacher to say, "We are done for today. School is not happening." And at that time, I really didn't care what the teacher had to say. We're done. And then after that, I messaged my coworkers on the Zoom call, instant messaged them while we were on Zoom. And I said, "I need to drop off the call. Sorry." I realized that moment was a breaking point for me. I was trying to do too many things at once, the work, life, trying to be a parent, being a teacher, and none of it was going well. I was stretched so thin that nothing was getting the attention it deserved. And let me tell you, it wasn't just a cracked laptop. I realized I had a completely cracked system. A reminder that the way I was managing my time was not working. Does this resonate with you? I mean, maybe you've had a moment like this, a moment where you realize you are juggling too many balls and they're all starting to drop. Well, if so, you are not alone. This is something that I see with my clients all the time. So let's dig into why time feels so hard to manage. So the first thing is this fear of missing out, or FOMO, as we call it. How many of us say yes to things we don't actually want to do because we are afraid of missing out? We will take on extra projects, we're attending every meeting, or we will say yes to every family obligation because we don't want to let anyone down. But in trying to do it all, we end up doing too much and nothing gets done well. This fear starts young. Think about how many times as kids we were told, "You don't want to miss this," or "If you're late, you'll be in trouble." So over time, we start to associate missing out with failure, and it follows us into adulthood. Anybody resonate with that? And then there's this addiction to distraction. Now, let's be honest. It's easier to get lost in someone else's drama than to face our own. That's why reality TV and the endless scrolling on social media are so tempting. But distractions only keep us stuck. Here's an example. When I was trying to lose weight, and I'm still trying to lose weight, just for the record, I realized I was distracting myself by cleaning or cooking instead of exercising when I was supposed to. And I think I did this because it just felt easier to avoid the hard emotional work of change. And it was just easier to focus on something else. But the reality is all of those distractions were just keeping me from my goals. And I will tell you, God is still working on me. Your girl's still trying to lose weight. But I realized that I was doing things to distract myself, or another term that's used is I was buffering. I was doing other things that felt better, that felt good to distract myself in order to avoid the hard things. And so this is another reason why it's so hard for us to manage our time. There's this myth of multitasking. I'm going to tell you right now, multitasking is a lie. We think we're being productive, but what we're really doing is just task switching. And it is costing us a lot of time. Every time you switch a task, your IQ drops. Your IQ actually drops 10 points. And to compare that, if you smoke marijuana or weed, it only drops 5. So literally, when you are switching between tasks, your IQ level drops lower than if you were smoking weed. Take that in and think about that. But you also make more mistakes and your creativity takes a hit because now you can't be as creative. You are left most of the time when you are trying to multitask with what is called attention residue. So attention residue is when your brain is still stuck on the last task, so you can't fully focus on the new one. Okay, so you're constantly thinking about the last thing. You haven't kind of got to the present moment. You're still thinking about what was said in that meeting. You're still thinking about how that coaching call went, and you haven't fully processed it and turned it off to be ready for the next thing. And so that's what attention residue is. And then let's not forget that apps and technology are designed to keep us distracted. How many of y'all are listening to this podcast and doing something else? If you are, that means you are not going to be able to remember everything in this podcast, everything that I'm saying, because your attention right now is in multiple places. But when there are things like Facebook and TikTok and Twitter and Blue Sky and Instagram and all these things, they purposely put an infinite scroll on their apps, and then you have notifications and you have algorithms that are all there to pull you in. I want you to know that big tech profits from you being distracted, and we pay the price with our time. The longer you stay on their platforms, the more they get paid. So you are not benefiting from what they're getting paid because you're distracted. So let's talk solutions. So these are some solutions, some ways that you can start to manage your time. You don't have to do all of these. These are just ideas. These are things that I have done myself. These are things that I have advice to my clients as well, and they have also done. So the first thing is, I want you to ask yourself, who do I want to be? Who do I want to be? That day when I had a cracked laptop, I had to stop and ask myself, who do I want to be in this moment? Do I want to be the overwhelmed mom that was snapping at her kid? Or do I want to be the calm, present, and in control mom? This question is where time management starts, because it's not about what you need to do, but about who you want to be while doing it. When I emailed his teacher and told my coworkers that I had to leave the meeting, I had to take back control over my day and do what truly felt like the right thing to do. It helped me to regulate my nervous system and just be in the present moment, be there for my son, do what I needed to do to ensure we got through the day peacefully. Next, I want you to do a time study. And I learned about a time study through Rachel Rogers, who is a business coach. And what she says is to track everything you do for 2 weeks. Some people say track everything you do for a week. Some people say track everything you do for a full day. But however you track it, you want to track it where you can notice patterns. And you want to track even the little things, even things like going to the bathroom. Yes, track when you go to the bathroom. And I promise you it's going to be worth it, because you're going to be able to see where your time is going and where you are wasting time. I had my client do this, and she noticed how many times she got up to use the bathroom. And what she found was that it was connected to a broader health issue. And she started to track her food from there, and then noticed that, there were certain foods that made her go to the bathroom a lot more. And so this time study is not just good for managing your time, but it can also amplify other things that are going on with you. It can amplify anxiety. It can amplify triggers that happen, and you do certain things based on a trigger. It can notify you, like, how much sleep are you getting enough, and how your mood is. Like, it can track all of these things for you. So a time study is very important, very pivotal for you figuring out how you're managing your time. And when you start noticing where your time is going, you will have to shift your habits and start making changes. I like to use the framework from James Clear's Atomic Habits book, where he provides 4 ways to do this. The first is to make it obvious. So you're going to use your time study to bring awareness to your habits. So again, a time study is so good for like really amplifying, putting the spotlight on what's happening for you every day. The second is to make it attractive. I want you to find ways to reward yourself for sticking to your plan. I mean, what good is it to actually do something that you've been wanting to do and not be rewarded for it? Third, make it easy. So you're going to start with small, manageable changes. If you say that you're going to focus on tasks every day, you're going to do 2-hour blocks, and you're just starting to do this at the beginning, it's probably not going to happen. Start with 20-minute blocks in your day to do things. And then fourth, make it satisfying. I want you to celebrate every win, no matter how small, and celebrate it immediately. So if you told your boss, no, you cannot do something, if you held a boundary and you cannot do something, go for a walk right away. Go have a drink. Go, do something right away. Okay? Because make it satisfying is all about immediate gratification. So now that you've done a time study and you know what habits you need to change, that is when you set boundaries with what is called a fixed schedule productivity process. A fixed schedule productivity process. You are going to decide how long you're going to work on a task, and when the time's up, you stop. No exceptions. I do this a lot, and I've seen others do this, where house cleaning, setting a clock and saying, you know what, I'm going to clean for 30 minutes, and I'm going to do as much as I can. And after 30 minutes, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to do my work, or I'm going to take a walk, or I'm going to take a nap, or I'm going to eat. Whatever it is, that just helps you with a goal and a set fixed schedule amount of time, and it helps you maintain your productivity, because I only have 30 minutes and I'm done. But this also creates the boundaries that you need to protect your focus and your energy, because there will be people that will ask you for more than what you want to do that day. If you have a fixed schedule and you say, this is all I'm doing in that time, it's easier to have that boundary. If you believe that the task will take hours, okay, because you're going to be doing some blocking, but if you feel it's going to take hours, you can do a time block, okay? Time blocks throughout the day. If you believe that one task will take a full day, as an example. So you'll still decide what's the fixed schedule to work on it. So the fixed schedule could be all day, 8 hours, but then you complete it in blocks of focused, uninterrupted time throughout the day. So maybe every 30 minutes, you're going to take a break. Okay. Every 30 minutes, you're going to do something 30 minutes on that task, take a break for 5. Do 30 minutes again, take a break for 5. Like you just keep going back and forth. This really provides for what is called deep work. When we focus on things in a more deep way, we're not switching between tasks. We actually get more done, and we get it done at the highest level. Like it's not like just, thrown together. It's actually well thought out work. And so being able to time block, focusing on one thing all day actually helps you to have higher productivity. And then finally, build in buffers. Leave space in your schedule to transition between tasks. And the reason why this is helpful is what I talked about earlier, which is called attention residue. And again, this is when you go from A to B task and your mind is still thinking about the last task you did. So if you have a meeting or some other task you need to do, you aren't fully present yet. So having time to reflect or to process between calls is helpful so that you can be fully present for what is next. So as I close, I want you to know that time management isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most and then let go of the rest of the stuff. Just let it go. It's going to keep you away from burnout and exhaustion and sometimes even resentment and bitterness from having to do all these things. And so only do what matters, only do the most impactful work, and let the rest go. That day when I had that cracked laptop, that was truly my wake-up call, and it forced me to see that I couldn't keep juggling everything at once. And if you are feeling like I was, if you're feeling like that now, please know that there's a better way. There is a better way to manage your time, and in the long term, it's going to help you significantly, especially in your career. All you have to do is start small. You don't have to build a ship overnight. Start small. Ask yourself who you want to be. Who do I want to be? I want to be calm. I want to be present. I want to be peaceful. I want to be at ease. I want to feel in control. I want to be an authority. I want to be a decision maker. And the decision maker is really a good one, because when we are in chaos and confusion and we're just all over the place and overwhelmed, we're not good decision makers. So that may be who you want to be. And then track your time. And I would do this maybe every quarter. So you do it now, and then Q1 you do it, then you do it in Q2, then you do it in Q3, and just track your time for 2 weeks at the beginning of the quarter, just to see how you're managing your time. It really amplifies things and helps. And then create habits that work for you, not against you. Don't create habits that you know you are not going to stick with and commit to. So make sure they work for you, not against you. Make sure that you're not working for it. It works for you. And then above all, give yourself grace. There are going to be times when you backslide. There are going to be times when there's some fear of saying no or setting a boundary. Give yourself grace. You got this. You'll be able to do it. Hope this time management podcast was helpful for you, especially during this time of a lot of holiday madness, family stuff, and end of year stuff at work. But I will talk to you next week. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Leadership Beyond the Title podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, hit like, follow, and leave a comment. Share with your friends, family members, and other women of color leaders. Inside my one-on-one leadership coaching program, I will help you become the leader that you want to be with work-life integration and peace. By tapping into networks, growing your visibility and confidence, you will go from untapped, unseen, and underrepresented to attracting opportunities to take your career and your life to the next level. I use an equity-centered lens in my approach so that you feel seen, safe, empowered, excited, and committed to attract, create, and land opportunities in an unconventional way. To work with me, join my email newsletter, or to learn more about me, click the links in the show notes. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to being your coach. See you next week.